All right, Curt, take it away, man. Welcome, everyone.
Well, thank you, Damon. So we have a very small, intimate crowd today. So thank you. I think we saw Jeffrey. Thank you, Jeffrey, Leela. We saw Val, Ira. So today, this is an absolute thrill, honor for me. So I've been working with Josh Curcio from Protocol 80 for the past 8 years or so. And the cool thing is I've watched, he has a partner, Donnie. And he and Donnie, when I first met them, I think they had maybe 2 or 3 employees. They're up around 20 now. And I've watched them grow their company over years, and it's just been a true blessing, privilege. We've tag team and worked with multiple manufacturers over the years. We've shared with programs and partnerships. So this is a great program here today. So I want to turn that over to Josh. Josh, thank you for joining us today, and go ahead and take it from there, man.
Thanks, Curt. I appreciate the kind words. It's been a pleasure working with you as well, and I appreciate that you and Damon have been putting these events together. It's awesome to be a part of it. Thank you for inviting me, and I gotta give a plug to Curt's book that you can purchase now on Amazon. Be sure to check that out. So just a little bit about me, COO and partner at Protocol 80. I'm a HubSpot certified trainer, and I also lead the HubSpot user group in Rochester, New York. I'm also one of the HubSpot community champions. So the HubSpot community is a place where you can go and ask all of your inbound questions, HubSpot questions. And fortunately for right now, I'm the #2 top solution author. So check that out. And then outside of work, you can find me on Strava, on Peloton, Untapped. I was talking to Damon about Untapped a little bit ago, and on Yelp. So if you care to know anything about me outside of work, just check me out there. So we have a short amount of time today, a condensed amount of time to talk about a really big topic. So I thought I would just focus in on, like, if someone said you had to do just one thing to help your manufacturing company generate leads and sales, just one thing, it would be content. Hands down, content is the #1 thing that you could do. And you might be saying, well, gosh, what we do is so boring. Nobody wants to read about it. Nobody wants to see this content. Maybe. But people are searching for boring content every day, all day. And those people are your customers and your prospects. They're the people that are looking for solutions. They're trying to solve their problems. It may be boring to, spend your time reading on the weekend, but if you're helping someone, that's not boring. So here's just some stats to prove that even though it's boring, it's effective. So this is one of our clients, and you can see over time, this top green bar is organic traffic. These are the drivers of that organic traffic. Blog post, blog post, blog post. Homepage is on there, which should be expected. Those are all blog posts that are driving traffic that these people aren't paying for every time someone clicks, like in paid, that's driving traffic. Here's just another example. Almost 15,000 visits in 1 month from blog post. Blog post, blog post. The homepage doesn't even get enough traffic in this case to be up there in the top 6 traffic driving sources. You might be saying, all right, well, traffic doesn't do anything. Well, look at the new content sources. So this is the count of contacts and where they're coming from. And you can see here that the majority of those contacts over the course of a year are coming from organic search, some from paid, and some from these other sources. But by far, organic search driven by content is driving new traffic, and it's driving new conversions or people that are essentially raising their hand and say, yeah, I'm researching this. So while it may be boring to someone, and honestly, it's probably boring for most people to read, 99% of people, it's helpful for some people to read because they're looking for the information. And again, those people are your customers and your prospects. So why does content work? Why does it work so well? One, your website can only go so far. You have your website, which consists of your core pages, your home page, your about page, your history page, your capabilities page, it's pretty limited. Unless you're a full-blown e-commerce site, you maybe have 20 pages, right? Those 20 pages can only go so far as ranking in search. You're only going to rank for so many topics when we're sticking to those core pages. And also those pages that are just your website pages that aren't article-based or content-focused, they're really about you. They're not so much about what your buyers are looking for. So if you want to get in front of new people, content is the way to go. Writing content for the symptoms, the problems, the opportunities that they have. Content also allows for better types of targeting. So if you want to reach more engineers, you should produce content about what engineers care about. Or if you're looking to get in touch with buyers or people with purchasing power, you need to find out what content they care about. That's what you need to produce. And then again, content gets the readers to raise their hand. So if we're looking at just purely driving website traffic, you don't know who those individuals are. When we look at content, that could be things like ebooks, downloadables, white papers, checklists. Those are all types of things that get people to say, hey, this is my email address, this is my name, this is where I work, and I'm researching something that you're writing about. So it takes it to that next level. Content also gets you backlinks. When we think about manufacturing companies and the typical manufacturing company website, how often is someone going to go and create a backlink, meaning they're linking to that manufacturer's website from their own website? How many times are they just going to go out there and link to the history page just because? Probably not very often. You'll get your homepage links here and there, but not those internal pages. But if we're creating content, article-based content that's helpful for someone and it's informative and valuable, those types of content pieces will drive backlinks, which builds your domain authority, which helps every other aspect of your online marketing as far as traffic growth and that visibility in search engine. That helps to drive that organically, which is what Google wants to see. And I could go on. There's a ton of reasons why content can help not only drive the traffic, drive the leads, build the domain authority, and help close sales. The list is huge. So again, if there's one thing I would tell you to do, it's content. So you might say, all right, how do I do it? It's easy to say that. The first thing I'll say is do a buyer persona build. If you're going to build a foundation or a strategy about like the types of content that you're writing about, it needs to be geared all around those people that are your potential buyers or your current customers, and you need to understand the things that really resonate with them. And my number one recommendation there for building your buyer persona is to interview actual buyers, because your sales team, your customer service people, your CEO, they can make all sorts of assumptions about what your buyers care about, but without actually talking to the buyers themselves, that's all they are. They're just assumptions. Interview them, have conversations, and you're going to uncover information that you would never have expected you would have uncovered from them. Then map the content that you're going to be writing, that strategy, to the buyer and to their buying process. And when I say buying process, that might even be before they're in the process of making a buying decision. That might be when they're researching, symptoms that they're having or an opportunity that they might pursue, but they're not necessarily purchasing at that point in time. So you need to take the buyer, understand what they care about, then take that buying process and start to align topics so that the content that you're producing is relevant and speaking to them at the right time in the right places. Along with that, create the type of content that your buyers will consume. And what I mean by that is, if your buyers are the types of people that would rather watch a video, create video. If they are the type of buyer that really needs the stats and the information, create white papers, create ebooks with that information. Make sure that as part of that understanding of the buyer, find out where they consume their content and how they like to consume that content. This is a big one, and one that people fail at a lot. Create for value, not for volume. I've been in the SEO world for 12 plus years now, and when I came into the SEO world, the phrase was content is king. And it's still true, but it's not king if you're just putting garbage content out there. We're not trying to just create noise. We're trying to create value. So if you can only create one blog post a month and have it be valuable, create one blog post a month. Don't create 4 just for the fact that you're creating 4 blog posts a month. Optimize. So when we look at content, we're making sure that what we're writing is in line with our buyers, but the verbiage that we might use may not be necessarily the verbiage that everyone uses. So when we're creating these content pieces, think about the topic and think about the buyer intent. Start to align those things, the topic and the intent, with the article itself, the copy, but then also look to say, all right, well, if this is our topic, I should make sure that the phrase that our buyers are using is in places like our title of the topic. It's in the headings. It's used in the article. Now, I'm not telling you to stuff a bunch of keywords in there. I'm just telling you to think about what that topic is and the intent is when you're producing the content, and making sure that they're using the phrases that your buyers are searching for. If you don't have time, invest. Hire an agency. It doesn't have to be my agency. It can be any agency. But if you don't have the time to do it yourself, don't come and create a plan and assume that you will eventually have the time, because the truth is you're not. We see it day in and day out in the manufacturing world. People wear so many hats that when something new comes about that's like, well, if I don't get it done today, I can do it tomorrow, or something that you don't see immediate results and it takes time, it's easy to push to the side and put on the back burner. And then when that happens, you never get done. So if you are serious about it and you want to use it for growth and you don't have the time to do it yourself, hire an agency. There's a ton of great agencies out there that can support you. And along with that, using content to help grow your business, it works, but it's not a sprint. You're not going to write a blog post and then the next day you're going to have, hordes of new customers, hordes of new leads. It doesn't happen like that. But the impact of writing content and focusing on blog post production and ebooks and white papers, the impact is compounding. So all of those blog posts that you're creating, they continue to drive traffic month in and month out. And they'll do so for as long as they're relevant. Once they're done being relevant, you can go back to that blog post and make it relevant again. Update it with the most up-to-date content and accurate information. The same thing with the conversion opportunities, those white papers, those ebooks. They will start to build your library. As you build that library, you're going to start seeing more and more conversions. So it's a marathon, something that you have to stick with. It's not a sprint. So my key takeaway, if I was going to do one thing, is content works, but only if you do it right. If you're jumping in, just doing content to produce content, it's not going to work. Guaranteed. So take your time, plan, strategize, invest if you have to, but do it right. All right, so just one more shameless plug before we turn it over for questions. Manufacturing Marketing World is an event that we're having. It's geared all around manufacturers. It's 10/29, so we're a couple weeks out. I'm not sure exactly how long, roughly an all-day event. Here are 4 of the speakers. Dan Tyre, who is like the number 6 employee at HubSpot, and I was telling Curt and Damon earlier, this guy is like a ball of energy, more energy than I've ever had anyone present at any point in time. I've talked to Dan at 8 a.m. our time. He's in Arizona or something, and it sounds like he's already had about 35 cups of coffee. Awesome, great speaker, full of value. Curt, who's on here today, is going to be speaking, And I'm sure most of you have already heard Curt speak, so you know the value he provides. I'll be there. And then Holly McCauley, who is another employee here, another great speaker, will be speaking, as well as a few others from our team. It's going to be a good event. If you have any questions, hit me up about those. Otherwise, go to mfgmarketingworld.com. All right. I'm ready for questions. Damon and Curt promised to throw a couple surprise curveballs, so see if they can do that.
Josh, that was fantastic, man. And again, I know we have a small group, and I think Val was at the Val and Andrea were both at the Manufacturing Marketing World last year. What a wonderful event that you guys put on. So thanks for all your energy. With your presentation on content, and Damon and I are constantly talking about content, what's your take on, so a lot of folks are doing a lot of video content. With the video, having that transcribed into, getting the text, and then using that text as posts, blog posts, social media posts, linking to, critical pages and that type of thing. And I know you guys have a great team with video, and you're doing a lot with video. What's your take on transcribing video to text?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great way to produce multi-forms of content that would, again, resonate with multiple forms of people. The other thing that we look at with that is we work with some brands that have like one person at that brand that's a really strong voice, right? They're the voice of the brand, and they want that to come through. An outsourced writer is almost never going to accomplish that when you've got that one person that everyone knows. So our approach to that is say, well, let's get this strong voice on camera. Have them be the voice, and then we can take that video, publish it, right, in the places it needs to go. But then, as you mentioned, Curt, transcribe it or write a blog post around it, even if it's not the actual transcription of what they're saying. It's awesome and an efficient way to get content produced.
Yep. Excellent. And then do you, now you guys aren't super heavy with social, but are you seeing your clients like, well, take bits and pieces of that and then populate it in different places?
Yep. And we do some on social. Most of our clients find the most value on LinkedIn. There's not a ton on Facebook and Instagram in the contract manufacturing world, but every once in a while something will go pretty well.
So when you talk about content, one of the things that I've been toying with is topic-based videos. I mean, when you look at, I can write a blog about precision sheet metal manufacturing or something like that, but I could also do a video about it where I'm, and, I just have a conversation, like you and I having a conversation about it. And then as Curt said, you get that transcribed too. Do you think that is, in your clients, do you see that that's an easier way for them to do something topic-based like that still gives you the rich keywords and everything you need?
It is, yeah. We actually have a client that's doing something similar to that, and it's outside of video. It's actually with a podcast. I think they might do a video first, but aside from that, it's conversational, and it's about that one topic. In this case, it's about powder metal or something like that. There's probably one powder metal podcast out there, and it's probably theirs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's an efficient way to create that content. And the other cool thing is it allows those personalities of the people, the humans that are there at these businesses, to shine through as well, which is really cool.
Yeah. I think it's just, I think for people that write, I mean, I hate writing, right? I hate it.
Same.
But doing videos, that's not bad. And I think there's a lot of people like that, and especially technical, like you go into manufacturing, and there's a lot of people that can talk for hours about 5-axis CNC machining, talk about it, and on video, but to then write 500 words on it, it ain't happening.
Right. Yeah, and what's another interesting thing about that? Like, if I were to try to read 500 words about CNC machining, I don't know that I would make it through the entire article.
Yeah.
But the passion that some people have about their capabilities and their machinery, it's immense, and you can't get that on paper.
That's true. Yeah. Cool.
Josh, what do you guys do? Is so you guys work primarily with manufacturers. When you have a manufacturer that doesn't have that internal champion that's really coming out with a lot of the information, how does your team approach that? Like in Damon, they have an awesome crew. Holly, Molly, Ryan, the whole crew are just phenomenal. How do you guys help kind of push that company, that manufacturer along, where it's kind of like pulling teeth, or it's really a struggle getting that content from them?
So we hire writers. In the past, we would be looking to hire web developers or people like that. But a good portion of our workforce now, they have a writing background. So they're really good at taking the information that, maybe an engineer spits out and making it non-engineering language, making it marketing friendly so people actually enjoy consuming it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is helpful is planning in advance. So we don't just come to a content meeting and say, hey, what do you want to write about this week? Or what do you want us to talk about this week?
Yep.
We have the strategy, align the topics and the content to the strategy. And then it's a lot easier to come to the table and have that conversation about, all right, here's exactly what we're writing about. And you can bring the right person to the table to speak on that topic. So when the content is actually published, the most valuable information is there.
That's perfect. And what's super helpful is when you have like you were saying, even if you have the person that's passed, and it's almost like playing the reporter, you know what I mean? Where you guys are playing the reporter. One thing that I wanted to, if you want to share with a few people, you guys have a fascinating story. Again, when I met you, you just hit on the head that you guys were web designers and did some different aspects. You kind of had that tipping point or that aha moment where you guys really made that shift to inbound marketing, and it really, I saw it firsthand, watch your company explode, and you guys have never looked back. Can you just kind of share a little bit of that transformation that you guys had?
Yeah, so started as web development back in 2002, and our first client was Zippo, which is why we kind of got in the manufacturing space. Right. And over that time, we had seen, or the people that were here at the time had seen the needs, right? So like I came on board in 2008, and there was a need for, hey, we can't just have a website, we need to have traffic. We need to have things like paid. Yeah. We need to be able to get that additional thing as opposed to just having a website. So then, that worked for a while. And then it was like, all right, well, we need social. So we need to bring someone in that does social. And then eventually it's like, well, something else has to happen to break through the crowd and the noise, because everyone had a website at that point.
Yeah.
And we had been drinking the HubSpot Kool-Aid, for quite a while before jumping into the HubSpot world. And then in 2015, we said, we just have to do it, because just creating websites isn't getting results. It's just putting something out there. You might as well create a brochure. So let's take it to the next level. Let's fill the gap of what manufacturers in our area need, which was content, and just go from there. And we did it. And, since 2015, I think, Curt, as you mentioned, I think we had maybe 3 employees at that time.
Yeah. And that was, what a leap of faith and what courage it took for you guys to make that, and it's not like you weren't making major capital expenditures or laying out a ton of money to make that transition. However, it was a cultural shift. It was a strategic shift. And so, and again, I watched it firsthand, and you guys have just exploded since. And what's great when I talk with these guys, Damon, like they're just so laser focused on what they do best. They stay right in their strike zone. I'll call up Josh, be like, hey, I've got a client looking for this. He's very clear, like, nope, that's not us. Just the other day, was it a couple of days ago, I said, hey, do you guys do anything with Magento? Nope, we don't do anything with Magento. So they do a great job of just staying right in their lane. They hire accordingly. They fit accordingly. It goes with their culture. They eat it, drink it, breathe it, sleep it. And, they are the inbound marketing, really authorities for manufacturers, far and wide. So they do great work. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Yep. Really good. Well, it's 11 o'clock now. We'll get off the stage here. And if anybody wants to talk, we'll jump on our table and we'll do that. But
awesome.
Thanks so much, Josh, for stopping by. Josh at Protocol 80 here talking about inbound marketing. and the importance of content. I loved it. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Josh.
All right.